Well, Cameron, I just have to tell you how much I loved your book. I'm going to show it to the screen.
Oh,
I read it cover to cover in like
you
a
did?
day. Yes, I loved it because I felt like it was actually your voice and your words.
Well, it
And
was.
I know, but you know how sometimes celeb books,
I know.
is it that? But I felt like it was truly you.
Oh my gosh. Well, it's still so weird to like, I've been doing these interviews and everyone says, "Oh, I just read your book." And it's just so weird to hear that somebody's actually read it. So thank you. I'm honored.
I loved it. I really did. And I know fans are going to love it. So give us a quick tease. Like, what can fans expect from it?
Well, I tried to put a little bit of something for everybody. I tried to make it not just geared toward moms. I talked about my journey from all the way starting from the real world, which people are always curious about that. So there's a chapter on the real world. There's a chapter on Southern Charm. I did put my reality television, bits of that in there. And then there's motherhood, relationships, dating, marriage. It goes all across the page.
And I feel like you were so open about all of those topics. So was there anything hard for you to write about? Any topic that you were kind of on edge to write about and then you ended up writing it?
I think the book was pretty easy for me to write because the first year of motherhood is such a blur. So in that regard, writing about that was very easy because it allowed me to go back and try to remember. And that was very emotional for me, both good and bad. It kind of forced me to do that. I would say the one thing that was maybe a little bit hard was writing about my past relationships because I'm still on, which is rare, I know, I'm still on good terms with all of my past relationships. So I didn't want to say anything that could be, conceived as like negative. So that was a little bit hard.
Now, overall, why did you want to write this? Why did you want fans to get a better, deeper understanding of who you are?
Well, I think, when you're on reality television, how you are, obviously who you are as a person is going to inevitably come across as the truth, but there's also editing and things can be misconstrued. So writing this book is 100% from me. There's no editing involved. There's no, storylines involved. It's just raw and real.
It really was. Like, I have to agree with you. I know I don't want to give too much away because I already told you I read the book, but I thought it was very real and raw and kind of even more of you than what we've seen on like Southern Charm.
Oh, well, that makes me feel good because that was my goal in writing it. So I'm glad that comes across.
It does. Now, you also talk a lot about motherhood, your journey to motherhood, deciding to have a baby, and of course, your daughter, who's so cute.
Thank you.
Now, have you guys thought about having a second baby, expanding the family?
I would be lying if I said I didn't think about it. It's something I think about all the time because people are constantly saying, when are you going to have number two? It's weird. I think people don't know really how to handle one kid families. It's strange, but at the same time, one is all I can handle. So I wish I could handle more. I wish I could be a mom of multiple kids because it's cool to be a mom, but I'm not built for it. One is my limit, and I try to be self-aware enough to accept that fact that one is all I can do.
And that's honestly, I feel like that's a very respectable thing for you to say, to be honest about that, because I'm sure so many other mothers feel exactly the same way.
Yes, and don't want to admit it because I think a lot of women, I don't know, I think society maybe makes some women feel like less of a woman well, first of all, if you don't have kids at all, which is total. And then, also if you choose only to just have one child, it's like, oh, well, do you really have a complete family with just one child? Yes, you absolutely do.
Especially your daughter is so cute and so the most precious thing.
I say I got it right the first time. She's my masterpiece. I don't need to have another one.
Exactly. Okay, I have to ask though, because this season of Southern Charm, we obviously have missed you. I'm a big fan of Southern Charm, and I've missed you so much. You're just like calming words, your wise words. So tell me, have you watched this season?
So this is a question I get almost every day. Have you watched it? What do you think about? We cut cable. So we have Disney Plus for Palmer right now, and we have Netflix.
Okay.
I have seen one episode that Whitney, because when you're on the show, they email you the episodes the day before they air. So Whitney sent me one. He's probably going to get in trouble because he was not supposed to do that. But he sent me one of the episodes, and I watched it. And I mean, it's a very different vibe this year than it has been. It seems like, you know, the drama is at an all-time high. So I think I made the right decision to exit when I did. Yeah.
Now, have you talked, besides Whitney, have you talked to any of the other guys?
Oh, yeah. I was talking to, I actually talked to Shep yesterday. He's like, I still have not met Taylor, his girlfriend, who seems to be absolutely precious. I have not met her yet. He's like, when are you going to meet Taylor? And I'm like COVID crazy. I do not leave my house. COVID is still like very high here. So I said, as soon as I'm vaccinated, I will meet your girlfriend. Same with Craig.
Yeah, they both seem very happy, mature, like they grew up.
Yes, I think finally, knock on wood, they have found the right women, so I think that is helping contribute.
That is so true. Now, I know you said you haven't really watched the season, just that one episode, but in the beginning of this season, Katherine accused your husband, Jason, of having an affair. And you weren't there to defend it, but thankfully Craig and Leva were. But how did you react to her still making these, like...
Well, I get to ask this a lot too. And to be honest, it's what you sign up for when you go on reality television. There are many positives to being on reality TV, but this is one of the negatives. And one of the negatives is when you sign that contract, you basically sign away saying people could make up the craziest lie about you or rumor, and they have every right to air it. And there's nothing you can do about it. And it is what it is, you know? So I tell people, as easy as it is to obviously place blame on Katherine,
right?
Crazily enough, a part of me gets it because it's a part of reality television. And there needs to be drama. There needs to be story. You know, part of me thinks it was maybe a way to explain why I wasn't there, as crazy as that sounds. Poor Jason.
Poor Jason. And I know I read in the book, and fans will get to read in the book, why Jason was never on the show.
Yeah, I know. That's the sad part because he's always been so supportive and so nice about the show and me being on it. He's just, I joke and tell people he's just a normal person, and most normal people don't want to go on a reality television show. And then he gets thrown under the bus. So, but he laughs about it. Because the funny thing is if you know Jason, you know, it's just laughable to think he would be this adulterous man. Even for fans not knowing much about Jason, it was still so obviously untrue. I know. But again, I signed up for it, right. So it would be wrong of me to sit here and say, oh, this is bullshit, because I try to keep a level head and understand this is par for the course of being on reality television, and part of the reason why I decided that it was, you know, you got to leave at some point. So is it safe to say that you and Jason are you're happy that chapter of Southern Charm is over? Yeah, I mean, but to be honest, I think it was time for me to leave. But to be honest, I don't regret it. If someone said, would you go back and do it all over again the exact same way? 100% I would, because I mean, look at me now. I wrote a book. There's so many positives and negatives to reality television. It gives you a platform. It gives you a fan base. It gives you a voice. So it was overall a very wonderful experience for me. Would you go back? Would I go back? Oh, no, not at this point. I tell everybody, I think reality television, it's going like this. it's not what it used to be. It's becoming very toxic, very drama filled, and it's at the expense of the people who participate on it, unfortunately. Now, would I go back and do the real world again? Absolutely, because that was when reality television was real. You know, it was real. There wasn't editing and storylines and all that. So, so now would I go back? No.
Did you feel like it was getting too scripted for you?
I wouldn't say that it is scripted per se. I would call it heightened reality. It gets to a point when you've been on these shows long enough that some people feel the need that they have to perform, you know, deliver, if you can pick up what I'm saying. And I really don't have that in me. I tried to be authentic when I was on it, and I found myself kind of being a little hypocritical because, you know, here I am, kind of the Greek chorus, and I have to comment on everybody else's personal life, but I wasn't showing my daughter, I wasn't showing my husband, and so it felt inauthentic for me to be on it, and I know that's hard for some people to understand why I left, but that is really the truth as to why I decided to leave.
And it makes sense. Okay, so last question. I know I keep asking about Southern Charm. I'm just like, I had so many questions for you.
There's a whole chapter about it in the book. Whole chapter.
Yes, we got to plug the book. We got it, guys, the book. Whole chapter in it. But I want to know your thoughts. I don't know if you even have followed this, but the whole Madison, Austin drama that's consuming reality TV right now. I mean, really Kristen Cavallari and Jay Cutler.
They are just a bunch of crazy, horny kids, you know. What can you say? It's entertaining, you know. It's entertaining. People are talking about it, so that's good.